When that man finally shows you just who he is, and then you find out that he has history with said thing, it's time to take it up a notch. Because something else always happens. It's so heartbreaking too in these cases. Because that other thing that happens is murder. People who abuse you will easily murder you. And all the secrets come out after they murdered you. Secrets like serial rapist, serial assaulter, murderer. It's crazy what you find out once you're gone. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have some stuff to talk about because these cases, I've done so many. Like, I talked about a lot of them on here. You know, the typical man beats woman, then kill her. But there's so much more to this because we have a serial rapist and she didn't know this about him. Mind you, he murdered her. But it's crazy what you find out after. This man is sick. He's disgusting. And if only she left earlier because he was beating her in this relationship. I guess you can say, who knows how far he scared her, because that's what it is. Fear drives people not to leave, especially depending on what that suspect does. This man is disgusting. He has multiple victims who actually came out and spoke up after this happened and told them that they were also assaulted by this man. This is about a man who was abusing, controlling a woman. He murdered her. He sexually assaulted her before murdering her. Forced her to do things to him before murdering her. And right after this happened, there's other cases that came up that he did this to many other women. I believe this is the only woman he actually unalived. He killed her, but he assaulted many women. How is this man, how was he even walking out here? This is so disturbing. That girl was so beautiful, by the way, too. It's like, I be wondering, how do these people meet? He looked like a normal guy. You see the picture, kinda. He looked like a normal guy, but you never know how evil somebody is until they show their true colors. He was abusing her, controlling her in this relationship. That is fear. Fear drives people not to leave, like I said. That's what he put into this relationship. I wonder how quick he showed the fear. Because, like, showed her fear. Because when a man shows that he can control you by hitting you, by saying things to you, alienating you from your family and friends, nothing, you got him. That's so sad. And I really wish she like left earlier and just like didn't tell him. That's the way people can do it. I read comments actually below this video. People were saying that too. It's sad because in these stories they're telling in the comments how they left their abusers. Why are there so many abusers? Why are there not many? There are a lot of abusers, but we need more abuser killers. I'm talking about like people who killed their abusers. That's what we need. Because you're not going to put your hands on me and don't think I'm not about to retaliate. Like, that ain't happening. Like, if I'm scared for my life, I'm gonna... Mind you, this is just what I'm saying. Because I'm learning there's more and more with these cases, y'all. Everybody has a different story. You don't know what they'll do. I would secretly leave just without telling them. And then you come back and kill them. But let's get into it. We're going to react to it on crime. So let's get into it.
What prosecutors say was a toxic, abusive relationship with her boyfriend, Kieran Goodwin. They say he forced her to take drugs and perform sex acts on camera. But before she could escape, police say Goodwin strangled her to death. I'm Kennedy Walker, and I'll walk you through the disturbing details of what investigators uncovered, how Olivia's final hours unfolded, and who's calling her killer a truly evil individual. For this story, we go to Somerset, England, where a relationship that lasted less than 3 months ended in tragedy. Olivia Wood and Kieran Goodwin appeared happy in photos he posted on Facebook. But behind those filtered moments, prosecutors say the truth was dark and disturbing. Investigators allege Goodwin was controlling and that over the course of their relationship, Olivia transferred more than $7,900 to him. Authorities believe much of that money went towards feeding his cocaine habit. Court documents and messages obtained by the BBC reveal Goodwin allegedly coerced Olivia into taking drugs, performing sex acts on camera, and pressured her into sleeping with another man. The texts also show he was frequently buying cocaine, sometimes daily, and sending Olivia to pick it up. At one point, Olivia called her workplace, telling them she needed time off because of her partner's declining mental health and that he was threatening to die by suicide. But something shifted. Olivia had seemingly made a decision to leave. Prosecutors say her suitcase was packed, ready to walk away, but she never got the chance. On July 30th, 2024, Kieran Goodwin called police claiming Olivia wasn't breathing. She was rushed to the hospital where she later died. An autopsy confirmed Wood had a near-fatal dose of cocaine in her system and had a neck injury consistent with strangulation. Kieran Goodwin was arrested and charged with her murder. According to prosecutors, while he was on the phone with police, Goodwin was also deleting hundreds of photos and videos from his phone. The BBC reports that paramedics noticed a large bruise on Olivia's neck. When asked about it, Goodwin allegedly said, "I've killed her. It's all my fault. Oh my God, is she going to die? What have I done?" Prosecutors presented testimony from several women who claimed to be previous victims of Goodwin. Each of the women described similar patterns. Goodwin would begin relationships by overwhelming them with affection, later disclosing mental health struggles. They testified that he became controlling and used threats of self-harm to manipulate them into staying. According to their statements, Goodwin pressured them to give him money, most of which was spent on cocaine. Some reportedly said he encouraged or forced them to use cocaine, including by injection, despite no prior history of drug abuse. Others testified that he isolated them from family and friends and pressured them to perform sex acts on camera or with other men. All of the women who testified were granted indefinite restraining orders. Goodwin was sentenced at Bristol Crown Court to life in prison with a minimum term of 35 years. Judge Picton described Goodwin as a manipulative, determined, misogynistic, selfish, narcissist, and a truly evil individual. The judge also handed down 3 additional life sentences to be served concurrently for the offenses against the other victims. And joining me to talk more about
Hold on, because I am actually confused. Like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. Let me tell y'all something. If it ever come to a point like that for me, which it will never, ever, never, ever, if it ever come to a point for me to be like that for a man, push me overboard. I'm not talking about her. I'm just saying, thinking about this situation and the fact that other women, this is the same thing minus the killing has happened to other women. The drugs, you forcing them to take, how can somebody force you to take drugs? Unless it's at gunpoint. Sending money to this man? Y'all, I'm so confused. This thing, that thing, convince people to send them money, drugs, abuse, hook up with other men. I feel like I didn't even hear this right. Let me tell y'all something. If this is why I can't do humans, because if I'm dating somebody and you're constantly trying to unalive yourself, mental health, drugs, that ain't my problem. I'm not joking, y'all. I can't do the struggles like that with people. I'm not the person, if you're my husband, if you're my boyfriend, if you got mental health issues like that, I'm gonna try to get you help, but I'm also breaking up with you because I'm not staying for that. Like, people are crazy nowadays. Look at this. Y'all remember that case I told y'all about with the that man who had mental health issues, and he was like, God, y'all, she was on Facebook, and rest in peace, because he killed her and his whole family, and then himself. Like, it was like, I don't know what caused it. I don't know if it was after an accident, and he always had mental health issues, but he ran into a semi truck. And then he woke up in the hospital after like a 6-month coma and said, oh, dang, it didn't work. Tried to kill himself. And she saw that and stayed with him. Then he tried to take his own life with a gun, and she caught him, and she stayed with him. Let me tell y'all something. Ain't nobody worth that. I'm not joking. Ain't nobody. That's too much for me. I don't got the energy to handle all that. If you're going to constantly threaten me by saying you're going to take your own life, if I don't get you drugs, sayonara. That's not my business. Get away from me. Get away. I'm leaving the country because they're in the UK. I'm going to a whole different country. That's crazy. This is actually insane. I feel so bad for her. Like, there's no way. There's no way. And she was really trying to help this man for some reason. He's unhelpable. He did this to other women. And they have restraining orders, which goes to show, I need to just keep this, which goes to show that the court knew what this man was doing. And they did not do anything. They kept him out, and they are part to blame too. The court is part to blame. Oh my God. You gonna constantly tell me you're gonna take your life? Dude. Like, what? Get out of my face. Oh no.
Is
That would
UK
never
attorney
happen.
Nick Brett. Nick, thank you so much for coming on today.
Look, I'm not telling y'all to be funny, but I'm not joking when I say I'm not the one. If you're not family, I'm not the one. Dang, that sounds bad too. If you have mental health struggles and I'm dating you, of course I would try to, I'm breaking up with you. But I'm also, and I'm talking about depending on what it is. Like, if you constantly, like, trying to take your own life, I'm not going to be here for it. I'm not the one for the support because you got issues. You need to go get help. I'm going to help you by telling your family to go help you. Like, no, because people are crazy. And that type of stuff, they're crazy. I don't want that on my conscience. No. That's what people do. They take, like, I've heard so many cases where people will try to threaten their own life so it can weigh on your conscience. No, that's their problem. They need to go get help. And as a society, we need to learn that sometimes the people they just need help. Okay? They just need help, and stop blaming other people who didn't help them, because when they try to help them, it didn't work. The man was a druggie. He's a drug addict, okay? He was not even going to take his own life. He just did that to get money, and he's manipulative. It's crazy. The courts knew all that.
And it ends in tragedy.
I think that there's an all too familiar and depressing tale. The Crown Prosecution Service and the governments have sought to introduce legislation in recent years, including that of controlling or coercive behaviour, as a means of seeking to, first of all, put a lid on domestic violence being perpetrated, particularly by male partners on their female counterparts, but also to ensure that prosecutors have sufficient weapons to be able to rightly criminalise this kind of behaviour.
And Goodwin was sentenced to multiple life sentences.
Good.
Is it, normal for a person to get multiple life sentences in a single trial?
Well, it kind of depends on the allegations, and so if obviously there are convictions that are proven, where life sentence is the sentence, then ordinarily what would happen is a judge would impose a life sentence, and then he can impose a second life sentence, but he can do so concurrently. So what that means is the sentences run side by side, and the judge can then mark the criminality appropriately. When a life sentence is passed in England, the judge will fix a tariff, and what that means is that is a minimum period of time which the person must spend in prison before he's considered for what's called parole, and then the parole board would need to decide whether or not he is suitable for release after that period of time.
Okay, y'all, I got the gist of it. Basically, I got everything that I needed to hear. We know what he did. Crazy. Then he was sentenced to 35 years. Not enough time. Because what? That man is still young. It's crazy. And he looks so normal. Like, he really do look like a normal guy. And, like, that just really goes to show you, like, you don't know anybody. Like, it's just some weird people out here. It's just some weird, evil people out here who will harm you. Yeah, he was a druggie, and that's what I call them. They're druggies. People who definitely snort stuff, inject stuff, the drugs, the druggies. Can you even say that on here? I don't know. That's what they are, though. But, like, why? Why do people... Was it the drugs that did this? That, like, made him act like this? Possibly, because that cocaine stuff will do some stuff to you. I feel so bad for her. She was strangled. She died at the hospital. She was trying to get out, and it's always like that. Once you finally say you can't take it, and unfortunately, it's always at the last moment when it's too late. It's like, if only she just... men, they sleep, and that's a good time to run away. Pack your bags up earlier, hide them in certain places. Really, forget the stuff, just leave. This is just things. You can get more things. It's just sad. Like, this man assaulted her, forced her to do stuff, forced her to do stuff with other men, forced her to take drugs by injecting them, forced her to give him money for drugs, and she did it. She's taking out work to help him with his mental issue. Look, some people got the time, the day. I do not. And good luck to my husband. Let me stop. I'm not trying to be funny. If I was married, obviously, I'm gonna help him. But, like, yeah, I told you about we've been doing too many husband-wife stories and girlfriend-boyfriends, families. Look, even if I was married, it's only so much I'm gonna take. Because you put your hands on me, it's over immediately. I'm coming for revenge, and I'm gonna get everything you have. If you have mental health issues and you're my husband, obviously I'm gonna help. Like, to a point, when I'm fearful for my life, that's when I'm out of there. If you're trying to take your life, I'm out of there. Look, I don't want that on my conscience, and it's scary, okay? That's so scary, because when you're beside somebody who want to take their own life, a good 40%, that's a good one because not everybody do this, a good 40, 45, 50%, 65 will try to take you with them, and it ain't happening. But in this case, this man said that just so they can feel bad, they can have that on their conscience and give him drugs just so he don't do that. That's so crazy. Literally a professional manipulator. And he's not ugly. He can get women, and he did this to multiple women. I just don't understand why the courts did not arrest him for this. They got restraining orders, which means y'all know what he did. That's crazy. Maybe he didn't assault her. Maybe it was just the drugs. I thought drugs is a big case. Like, you go to jail for drugs. You go to jail longer for drugs than, like, murder. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm crazy, but he should have been in prison, basically, is what I'm saying. I feel so bad for her. This should not have happened. I really wish she left earlier, and, but she's just naive, and that's her boyfriend, and then she just felt bad and trying to help him. That's all it was. But no, you're not making me take drugs. Never. Would never happen. Ugh, God. I don't even smoke weed, y'all. I don't do nothing. I don't want to. Actually, I hate the smell. It just stinks, okay? If that's you, live your life. That's not me. I can't even talk to a guy I don't talk to people who do that. It just stinks so bad. It stays on you. And no offense, even as women, that stuff stay on you. You don't want that on you. Get some cute smelling stuff. Like, I love smell goods and perfume and smelling good and aromas and incense. Like, that's me. I like smelling good. Why would I want that on me? Anyways, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are your thoughts on this case? This is sad. This man really is a serial R-worder. He's a serial assaulter. And he was not in jail. That's crazy. And he did drugs. And then he killed her. I told y'all, people who put their hands on you, they will kill you. It's possible. Always have that in your head if you're in this situation. You can also take it up a notch, It's always self-defense, especially if you document stuff, take pictures, write it down. Because, when they do cases, rest in peace to these people, when they research and murder cases and they, investigating the police. They read journals. You can do all of that, and they'll say, "Oh, self-defense. This has been going on for years." If you're not going to leave immediately, at least just document it. So if you ever have to take it up a notch, you got evidence, and you will not go to jail. These men are weak who hit women. They're so weak. They're like little children who cry so you don't leave them after you hit them. It's crazy. That's so crazy. Well, I hope that sounded right. I was trying to say that men are weak and they cry to women after they hit the women so the women don't leave. It's crazy how many people do that. And it's a big percent. I'm not even joking. We're like at like a good, I don't even know what percent of men abuse, but it's a big one. It's a big one. So on that note, I will let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay safe, stay aware, stay alert at all times, ladies. Ladies. You might have to take it there. I'm just saying. Self-defense, not my business. And on that note, I'll let you guys go. Bye.